Are you live now?
Good, I do have it next to me. Hello, everybody. Welcome. Oh, that's so cute. Hey, Tina, how are you? I was looking at a Valentine I got from one of my primary students. Sunday school is what other people call it. I got it yesterday and I never opened it. I'm actually having a bit of an anxiety problem today. We have inspections here at our building, and they make me nervous. I don't like strangers in my house. I don't like people looking at um my home and judging me. Um, I mean, my house is picked up and clean and neat, but um, I just feel like I'm under a um, microscope. Like I'm not perfect, and people do live here, and messes happen, and I mean, and I get really anxious. So I'm trying to deal. They say they're going to show up anytime between 8:30 in the morning and 4:30 in the afternoon. Um, so if they can show up, I can sit here all day and worry. Right, Dana, exactly. And perfect strangers coming into my safe place, I don't like it. I'm not a fan. And so I'm trying to deal. I'm trying to be okay. It's hard to be okay. Sorry, guys. I just really don't. I'm not a fan. I just don't like it. Um, I hardly even have friends over in my safe place because I like my safe place to be mine. Thanks, Dee. Yeah, exactly, Diana. It's just I have to be sitting on eggshells all day. Unless they come first now, they could just randomly be knocking on my door any second and just judging me. I've been through this. Um, and I haven't failed an inspection for 10 years, but it's still the thought of it because um, in my past, growing up, um, I've dealt with being evicted as a child, and it wasn't my fault because it was always, um, that lays on the parents. But because of that trauma, I've been kicked out of my house and ended up homeless before. Um, that trauma is why I get so anxious. Um, I just think, like, the tiniest little bit of dust and I could lose my home. And it's not it's not like, how do I, it doesn't make sense. Like, it's really stupid to think that way, but because of a trauma, that's how I deal with it. I worry. I get anxious. So yeah, so you get it, Dana. It's a trigger, is what they call it. It's a trigger for my anxiety. And so having someone coming in and saying they're inspecting your home, that's a trigger for me. And it's not a good time. And I've been trying to get through the whole weekend because we got the notice on Friday, and I'm like, I'm trying. I need, oh my goodness. And I've been a wreck all weekend trying to avoid it and distract myself. But not today's the day. So it's like really hard on me. Yeah, homelessness is not fun. Hey, give Julie a big hug and a kiss for me. Thank you, Teresa. Sorry, guys. Kind of in an anxious wreck. I'm not supposed to go live until 4 o'clock this afternoon, but yeah, I just wanted to hop on this morning and talk about how my day is going so far. But I did finally open a Valentine from my one of my primary kids. I think it is just the cutest. And it says, "How about a monster hug?" That sounds wonderful. Yeah, I know. I'm surprised they're coming on a holiday too, but this is like, it's because we're under government funding, so our building is based on income. It's called HUD. So they have to make sure, like they, in the letter it says it's because of the ADA, and they have to check. I don't understand why they have to check serial numbers to our stove and refrigerator. That part I don't understand. But it's for the American Disabilities Association today to make sure that everything is accessible. They're doing all of the buildings, so even Wanda's going through it today because her building is Wanda with Rolling Through Life. So, and they're under the same ownership, so they're checking all of the buildings. But we go through inspections about twice a year, and every time it gets to me. It bothers me because I don't like strangers in my home. I don't like strangers in my sanctuary, and it's really hard. Hey, HD. So I mean, for me, it's like, okay, it's only about 2 to 3 times a year. I can handle it, because it makes my apartment affordable, but I still, it's a trigger for me because of losing my home so many times. Oh, it probably will be just fine though. That's the thing. It's always fine. We have lived in this building for 10 years. Never had a problem. But it still gets to me because it's a trigger. It's a PTSD trigger for me from growing up and having constant evictions and losing my home and trying to find a new home before we ended up homeless. And then one time we didn't find a new home before we ended up homeless, and we ended up and I lost everything. And so it makes me anxious. It makes me scared because it's a PTSD trigger. Hey, Sin. Thank you, HD. So I probably will be better at my live 4 o'clock because they said they'll be done by 4:30. So I'm hoping that I don't have to wait all day. I would love for them to just get it done early, but they said between 8:30 a.m. and 4:30 p.m., which means I could be sitting here anxious all day, which is not fun for me. And so my anxiety is really bad. Um, we have an inspection today is all, and it's a trigger for my PTSD, and it makes me very nervous and anxious. I don't like strangers in my house inspecting my things, judging me. My house is clean. It's just, it's what, it's a trigger for me because I've had growing up as a child, been inspected by, like children's services or whatever. It's not my fault. That's not my parents, but um, it's a PTSD thing. And so I'm not doing the greatest today, guys. Thanks, D. I know, Denny. I know I don't have to. So you get it too, Sin. It's just I don't like strangers in my sanctuary. So it's scary to me. And I mean, we've been here for 10 years. I've never had a problem. And we've never failed. We've never been at risk of losing our home. But it's a trigger. So it's hard. It's hard for me to think. What do they say? Have common sense. Exactly, Sin. I love that verse, Denny. That's one of my favorites. Thanks, thanks, D. Have a great day. That is absolutely one of my favorite verses. So what are you guys all doing today? While I sit anxiously. I was thinking I'm gonna continue to work on this. Oh, I never got to show you, but I think I'll show you this afternoon. This baby sweater slash cardigan. I'll show it to you this afternoon when I'm feeling a little better. But this is how I'm doing in the granny wrap for my friend. I think I'm getting some work done. I'll have to find that verse then. That sounds good. I'll have to look that one up and find it. Ah, First Peter 5:7. I'll have to remember that one. I'm gonna write it down right here. The scriptures are such a wonderful thing to have. That is very true, Teresa. That would be wonderful, Denny. You can email them to me, and that way I'll have the list. Because I'm always looking for peace verses. When my anxiety is bad, I found out that I am, when I went to the last doctor's meeting for my mental disorder, it went from bipolar 2 to bipolar 1. And that's more the manic phase. And I was thinking, I wonder if that's where my anxiety is. Yes, and exactly. I'm not afraid of losing my home. It's not. It's not exactly that. It's the it's the anxiety of invasion. Exactly, Sin. It's not fun. Thank you and welcome. How do you say your name? Shal Shelly Bean. How do you say that? I'm glad that you got your victory over being anxious. I'm still working on it, obviously. My anxiety is not the best. Oh yeah, I said it right. Well, welcome, Shally. You picked me on a bad day, but usually I'm not sappy or usually I'm not crying. But it's one of my. I'm just not having the greatest day today. But yeah, actually, crocheting does help me too because it keeps my hands busy. Like like what I always say, if my hands are busy, my mind isn't. So that's probably what I'll be doing. I'll probably be crocheting all day. And well, I think I have physical therapy today too, so that'll keep me busy. But um, it's yeah, when my hands are busy, my mind isn't. And today's a good day to crochet for sure. And sometimes when ow, my goodness, I'm sitting on my foot and it hurts. Okay, I fixed it. um, when I'm anxious, I crochet fast, very fast. I don't understand. I think it's just anxiety. Like I have to move really fast. Um, so it's different that I crochet faster when I'm anxious, and I'm slower when I'm just blah, not in the mood. I'm just trying to get something done. But when my anxiety's bad, I can speed through a lot of work because I'm trying to um, be busy. It's kind of weird. Oh, Dana's back. Did Julie have a good? Well, did you have a good walk? And I have been looking into dogs, Dana, for my to help me with my anxiety too, an emotional support thing, animal, and I just don't know. Um, I don't, I don't think it would be right. Yeah, the walk was a victory. Thanks, Denny. Um, the, I don't know. I have to find the right dog. I have to find a small dog probably, because I have weak hands. And if it was a big dog and it pulled hard on a leash, um, off it would go. A small dog is preferred also because I live in a small apartment. And it'd have to be very calm. Hey, Sandy, how are you? So I have to find the right breed. And oh my goodness, dogs are so expensive. That's awesome, Dana. Yeah, I've only been a member of my church for 3 years. So I'm new to being um a full on leaning on God person. I've only been a member for 3 years. And so I'm still new to things. I mean, we have scripture study every day. It's just my testimony is strong, but I just my faith um I don't know how to describe it. Like I have plenty of faith. I have a strong testimony. I'm just not there yet for managing my anxiety and leaning on Heavenly Father for it. That's going to take a long time. I have a lot of PTSD things. Blue Heeler mix. What does that look like? I wonder what that one looks like. My my husband says he's going to look it up. Yes, and exactly. It takes time to build the relationship, like a really strong relationship. It is, especially when you have PTSD, there's triggers. And then when you think you're doing great, and then all of a sudden you get triggered. You think you're doing okay. You think, wow, I can do anything, and then a trigger happens. And then you think, wow, I'm not as okay as I thought I was. Lasso Epso. I've heard of those, but I can't remember what they look like. Yeah, I need a calm dog because I have calm problems. So if I had a calm dog, it would calm me down. But I was thinking, I mean, I have my cat who's wonderful, but she is going to be 18 March the 1st, and she's not going to be around as much. They look like a mop. Does that mean a lot of brushing? Well, no, the Lapsos, the one that Sandy was talking about. Wouldn't that be high maintenance? Then again, it might be soothing to be brushing a dog all the time. I brush my cat, and that soothes me. Okay, so this is what he found for the Blue Heeler. Brushing, yeah, brushing. That's what I was thinking. You know, maybe if I had a dog that needed to be brushed, it would relax me. Because it does. I brush my cat and it relaxes me. She's napping right now. So she doesn't, and she's not even in the same room. But if she heard me as upset as I am, she'd be hunting me down right now.
Yeah.
She fell asleep after she ate. That's another thing, Sandy, is I was thinking, what about if, I don't know. I don't know if a puppy would be too much energy for me and mess with my anxiety, or if I got a dog that was older and more calm because it's older, you know, um, that it would chill me out better. Yeah, yeah, I saw that. That's cool. I absolutely love Dooley. Dooley's so adorable. But Dooley is a big dog. I wonder if there's a small blue healer.
Depends on the breed they're next to it looks like.
Because
I've seen some
I would need a small one.
I've seen some that mix with German Shepherds, some that mix with others.
Yeah, exactly. So that's another debate I'm running into with getting an emotional support dog. I need it to be mature to deal with me. It's kind of like, I don't know. I need it to be mature. Yeah, preset. Yeah, and that's what I was wondering about too. Listen, I live in Ohio, but and the thing is um, with me trying to get an emotional support dog to try to help me out, while baby girl is still alive, it's hard. Thank you, Denny. I appreciate that. Um, how would she handle it? You know.
You wouldn't.
Um, but then again, hello, Sarah. How are you? Welcome. Um, she wouldn't. She's kind of likes to be her. That would be cool, Dana. Maybe my husband should get him a healer too.
I wouldn't show off.
My husband says he wants a Chihuahua. He loves Chihuahuas.
Or a small dog. I don't want anything too huge.
Well, welcome anyway, Sarah. I'm glad that you uh, are into the world. Today is not the greatest day for me to be watched live, but because I'm kind of having some issues, but don't we all have issues? Hey, Rosalie, welcome. Yeah, that's one thing about bigger dogs is you don't have to pick them up. But I have cat stairs for my elderly cat, and I was thinking, well, I'll just keep the stairs for a small dog.
They get used to it.
They would get used to using the stairs, I'm sure, just like baby girl did. Um, it's it's just that having a one bedroom apartment, there's already two people living in this one bedroom apartment. I would say a small dog would be the best um pick for us. You trained a dog and you're not the dog and you're not a dog trainer, and it was really easy. That's awesome. But I have been looking into it and I've been trying to figure things out. I mean, it's just I figure that since baby girl is 18, now's the time to look into it,
but not get one.
but not get one quite yet. Um, because I don't know how she'd handle it, and I don't want her to be under a lot of stress in the last however many years or years that she'll be alive. Um, but now's the time to look into it, to plan, to, you know, I'm a planner. I'm not a just, grab a dog and say, okay, this is my emotional support dog. I can't do that. I am a researcher. I research, I plan, I want it to be right because that's what a lot of people's problems are is they get dogs and they don't know their personality, they don't know what type of dog they are, they don't know even with cats, cat breeds are different too. And they don't know what what type they are. Like they'll get a high energy um high energy animals and then they end up back in a shelter because they didn't know that that breed is a hyperactive dog or barks a lot, tends to bark a lot. And that's why I'm a researcher because I want it to be a forever home situation. Um, I'm not going to make that mistake because I wouldn't want to be given back. It's just like kids getting adopted and then returning to orphanages.
They're gonna have
I it's the same principle for me. So I figure if I have this time to do what I got to do. Let me write down that link. Thanks, Sin. I don't have my notebook here. It's driving me crazy. AngelRetrievers.com. But you have 4 dogs from the shelter, Rosalie. That's awesome. Um, my my mother-in-law had a Chihuahua
to
for 13 years, and she passed away. And she was the sweetest dog. All she wanted to do was cuddle. Um, I think that she would pout and pout and pout when my mother-in-law would leave. She would just lay on the couch and pout all day. She just clung to her. Um, she did bark at every little thing,
thought it was protection.
but she did have high energy. There was one when I did this weird online quiz thing that said what dogs are best for your home and for you, and it did mention a certain kind of terrier that is very down to earth. But I do agree that Chihuahuas they're hyper.
Depends though.
But as she got older, I'd say about middle, maybe by the time she was 6 or 7,
Rough area.
she totally chilled out. But
A good woman for people.
thanks, Denny, and thanks, Sin, for looking. But yeah, it just I want the perfect dog. Unfortunately, if I find the perfect breed, it is going to um cost me probably. And it's probably going to cost me a lot of money. I'm writing down that links and but it's something that I really want to make sure that I do right. If I do. And the thing is that there are, let's see if I can do that. I've never tried to open a link in a new window. Oh, that was pretty simple. Oh my goodness. I thought it was going to be rocket science for some reason. And I already have it set to open in a new window. My settings is. Um, but another problem that I run into, I wonder if I would qualify for a service. Oh my goodness! I have my DVD stack here, and I knocked down a DVD. I'll live. um, I wonder what a deer head chihuahua looks like. My, Mr. Yarnicke is like, I gotta look that one up. Okay, the next one. Buckeye service dog.
Is that a green part chihuahua?
Yeah, I know. And I have a letter that says that I would benefit from my cats. But I wonder to get one that's trained to be a service dog, if I would even qualify for that, because what I have is a mental disability, not a physical. I'm pulling up all these links saying thank you so much. I know a friend of mine in church, she has a daughter with special needs, and she had this fundraiser where she collected, just emotional support. That's what I'm looking for. There are certain places that they can't go, the emotional support dogs, and that's what I'm afraid of, is I'm going to need them in those places. And it kind of sucks. Maybe eventually they will change the rules. They're actually cracking down on airports. I was reading, because I've been doing research on emotional support animals, and they're cracking down in airports. They say they're no longer doing the whole Noah's Ark thing. I think people have kind of ruined it for others that need them. They said that they will just let emotional support dogs in now. They're starting to do the process of restricting airports. So I'm like, oh my goodness. Because people are bringing in emotional support chickens and rabbits, and that's why they say it's a Noah's Ark situation in airports now, because there are emotional support, anything you can call anything an emotional support animal. Because there are different rules between emotional support animals and service. Yeah, Sandy, that's what I was thinking is start now. Plan now. I mean, I'm hoping that baby girl doesn't go in soon, but I think planning now and knowing what I'm looking for and knowing all the facts, I'm a researcher before I jump into anything. No, I didn't see that, Sandy, but that's what I'm talking about. And people are getting mad about that. They're like, "Oh my goodness, people are bringing in everything under the sun as an emotional support animal." And I guess now the airports are starting to crack down and only specify to dogs. And I'm thinking, well, gee. And I was also reading that an emotional support animal can be denied. Right, Sandy? I mean, I can okay, now I'm saying don't restrict it just to dogs. Um, but a common pet. What's wrong with a cat being your emotional support animal? Baby girl is mine. If I had known to train her to be in public, I would take her everywhere. But she has anxiety herself. She does not like to leave home. Um, Otherwise I would be everywhere with her. But um, I think I don't know where's the line drawn, you know? An emotional support rat, something small maybe. I think that would be fine, honestly. On a plane, put the dang thing in your pocket. You're good. And it's an emotional support animal. Um, a snake? Well, I'm not sure too many people would be happy about a snake. But if it's a little snake, my friend has one that's this big. Well, my friend's granddaughter. It's only this big, and that's about as long as it's going to get. And it's a baby python. Put it in your pocket. Take it out every now and then, you know. But like a rhinoceros or a peacock, I mean, those things are obvious to, and what? So I think they really got to think it over. But it scares me because I'm looking into an emotional support animal and I'm thinking, well, they say that there are certain places that they will not allow you to bring your emotional support animal in. And I'm like, well, what? So now I'm going to have to look at it and say, I guess I can't go in there? Or what? I mean, and that worries me. I'm a worrier, unfortunately. So it's, sorry, guys, I'm reaching for something. And I hit my camera. But I don't know. It's a lot to think about, a lot to plan. Um, Thank you guys for talking to me this morning. It's helped me out just to talk things through. It helped out with my anxiety. I'll eventually get through this anxiety of someone coming in my home. Yeah, see, Sandy, exactly. I'm researching things like that, and Yeah. And that's why I think now is the great time to do that. Thanks, Dana. It's kind of hard to explain. I know everything will be fine, but my anxiety is trying to convince me that everything won't be fine. Because it's a trigger from PTSD, back to when things weren't fine. So it's unfortunate, but it will be okay, and I'll read some good scriptures, and I will build my confidence back up, and I'll be all right. I'll crochet like a maniac. I'll crochet like a maniac until physical therapy, and I'll go to physical therapy and come back and crochet like a maniac some more. And I have some nice soup. Soup is a comfort food. I have some quinoa soup in my crock pot warming up, so I'll have soup and I'll be all right. I'll be all right. It's just a hard day. But I will be live again at 4 o'clock Eastern, my normal Monday live. And maybe you'll see me in a better state. But I love you all so much. And I thank you guys so much for your support. I'm gonna get off of here and crochet some more and check on my soup and get ready for physical therapy. And okay, and if anybody knows when Zooms are, like in schedules, can you please email me the list and times and stuff, because I don't know anybody's Zooms. I always forget. And I would love to be on Zooms again with people, but I do not know. And I always forget. And I forget to write them down. So if somebody has a list of Zooms, I would love to join in some Zooms. And I think you all have my email. It's just my channel name at gmail.com. But well, Sandy, can you send me those? Like, you don't have to email them to me. You can message me on Messenger or something. Okay, and Patras is on the weekend. I just wish I knew when, because I'm like, man, I'd love to do Zooms, and I always miss it. When somebody says, hey, let's do a Zoom, and I'm like, I missed it. This was yesterday. So, I would really appreciate that. I like talking, even though I don't sometimes talk much. I like to say a few words every now and then. Tuesday, Thursday, Friday at 1:30. Oh, I'm gonna try to write this down with my links. And that's Eastern, right? Sharon is Eastern. Yeah, I thought so. And then Petra is on the weekend, but she doesn't have a certain time, does she? Oh, thanks for her number. A lot. Okay, Petra's is around 6 on weekends. Okay. And hers is Eastern, I know. Yeah, Petra's random and spontaneous. Thanks guys so much. I'm gonna get off here and check my soup. And I love you so much. And I will talk to you at 4 o'clock Eastern if you can hop on. If not, no big deal. Love you and have a blessed day.